In a row. What if we? Good evening once again to you all, and welcome to today's weekly analysis. Today is the 23rd of February. All right, 23rd of February. All right, so I'll just quickly share my screen and we will start immediately. Those who are still on the way, they will meet us as also this session is going to be recorded, so those that will not be able to meet us at all, they'll watch it later on. Okay. All right. As we normally do, I'm going to start first with the dollar index. So we'll understand what the dollar index is doing so that we can be able to put in other pairs that are correlated to DXY either negatively or positively. All right. So looking at DXY and let me just remove everything. This is the dollar index on the weekly time frame. All right. So just looking at how this week closed, we closed a contraction week. Let's go back to the monthly time frame and see. All right. So monthly time frame, we took previous monthly low, and we still have this fair value gap sitting right here. And then back to the weekly time frame, we close a bearish contraction, and that was a result of this other block. But I think we talked about this. All right, so this might just be to cause some price reaction around this area, and now we have this other block here. So just look at the weekly time frame. Maybe this week we might want to take out this candle's high and then we trade back down to, let's say we do something like this. All right, maybe we'll open, take out the previous weekly high, and then we trade back lower to the monthly fair value gap. That will also do. I mean, that looks good, especially on this weekly chart. All right. All right. So, and then going down to the daily time frame, we had price traded down to this refined order block on the daily. All right, the weekly order block, we could refine it down to this daily order block, and then price traded into it, and we're having this reaction from here. And this reaction here caused this fair value gap. So I don't think price would want to take previous weekly high, as it's going to be raiding this high here, right here. Also, there's still a possibility we can do that even to retest this this area before we moved lower. That is, maybe we'll have something like this. But still, I would not really want to see price taking this high, which means we can have price just straight up to this fair value gap, and then we expand lower into taking out this low. Okay. I'll explain this more when we go to Euro USD, because Euro USD really is going to be bullish this week, and will likely have DXY continue to sell from here. Okay. So this is what I'm expecting on DXY to come down to this area. So that's our draw on liquidity on the DXY. So you can maybe expect price to at least trade off a little bit here and then we continue lower. We even have this small volume gap here, which can also act as another draw on liquidity for this guy. But we have this low that needs to be rated. And we have this nice order block here sitting also in line with this volume gap at the consequent increment or at the center or the mean threshold of the order block. So I think it's a good area to have price take out this low as an inducement into the order block before we can see maybe higher prices, right? So that's what I'm expecting for dollar index. We will go now to Euro USD and see if we're going to have the opposite of this price movement. Now, Euro USD monthly time frame. Remember, previous monthly low on DXY was already taken out and price was gradually approaching the fair value gap. But on Euro USD, previous monthly high is still intact. So we have this as our previous monthly high. It is still intact. Going down to the weekly time frame, we also have this. This is the area here And even this week's high was still also intact. Price hasn't taken it yet, right? So, but for this monthly high, that's even the drawn liquidity I spotted last week. But we ended up as a contraction. So going down to the daily time frame, we still have that area. So we have these relative equal highs. We have this as relative equal highs here, which means that's let's see. This particular area here is actually a good area for us to target as buy side liquidity. And we have this other block here, all right, to support price into that key level. So which means this is what we're expecting this week to take out this buy side liquidity and even move up to this area. Remember, this high also aligns with the previous monthly high. All right, so we have this relative equal highs here also aligning with the previous Monday high. So we might even, yeah, that's just it. So we had price traded back down to this breaker here. We had this nice bullish flagship reversal validating this other block to be this candle to be our other block, and then we have this buy side liquidity sitting, and then we have this high which is just getting us into the monthly fair value gap. So there's yeah, Euro USD, we are bullish to take out this previous, this relative equal highs and move higher into the fair value gap. So that's Euro USD. Then we'll look at GBP USD now. GBP USD coming from the monthly time frame. Previous monthly high was taken out already. Let me remove my joints. And we have this fair value gap still sitting here as well. Going down to the weekly chart, the fair value gap is still there. Also, we did not expand so much for this week. Going down to the daily chart. All right, so daily chart on GBP USD, we have this other block and it's trying to push price lower. And we have this fair value gap here. Now, if you look at this fair value gap, oh, I'm sorry. If you look at this particular fair value gap here, all right, and the fair value gap on GBP USD. Let me try to compare the two of them, and then you see what I mean. Okay, so if you look at this price movement here, you're going to notice that this was an SMT, right? SMT is also what makes fair value gaps not to be filled. You can see from the low of this candle, price made a higher high, but on Euro USD, we made a lower low. So that was an SMT for higher prices on GBP USD. This was to show that GU is actually strong. All right. So now this close above also, as we saw on Euro USD, is a confirmation for higher prices on Euro USD that this was just an SMT movement likely to take out this high, and same thing on GU, which means this other block here is going to be rated and price will likely take out this high before even coming up to the uh before coming up to the monthly fair value gap. All right, so take note, this fair value gap wasn't filled because of SMT, and the price, we expect higher prices from here to take out this high, probably this one too. All right, so that is for GBP USD. That's watching this exact USD. All right, so let's check. Let's look at gold. Let's remove everything. Now, gold is actually kind of consolidating now. Let's look at the weekly candle. All right, so if you think closely, last week we said price closed like this, meaning we could have been having a CRT, but I also made you to understand that you trade CRT with one of the most important confirmations of your CRT is a key level. All right, it's a key level. And the way gold is moving, maybe our next target is going to be $3,000, somewhere around $3,000 around that area. Also, we've closed below this, but now if you look at this, all right, let me show you guys something. When you look at this, when you look at this chart, you don't have reasons to want to expect some sales, all right? We don't see any major selling points. We don't see it, right? We just see heavy buying momentum. So the fact that even though price closed below, but still with this momentum, it is still something to look into. All right. So normally, everybody is trying to short gold, so that is even adding more liquidity for higher prices. All right, it's even adding more liquidity for higher prices. One thing here is that price hasn't closed above this candle yet, else it would have been a valid order block for us to support higher prices. And then we already feel this fair value gap right here. So this was CRT that filled this fair value gap, and then we'll close a contraction. So at this point, we have we have this key level up here, which means price can spike into this 3,000, and then we have a reversal at that level. I think this 3,000 will be a perfect whole number area for price to get a good reaction. But I think with all these little reactions here, there's a potential for price to spike one more time, taking out everybody before we can have a decent pullback. All right. But regardless, if we have gold trading back down to close below this the low of this candle, then that's going to be our buy invalidation from there. And if price closes like that, then we're going to have more lower prices. And maybe this entire price range might just be trading back down to the discount of the range. We might want to trade right down to the discount of the range. Maybe this other block, which is aligning with this area of support. All right, so we will only sell if we have proper confirmations, because this is an uptrend, so you will not want to be selling and holding in a downtrend. I mean, an uptrend, right? So if price close below this, then we have sell confirmations, and then we can sell down to this area. If not, we expect higher prices into 3,000 before we expect any sales coming in for gold. All right. So gold, I expect something like this into 3,000 and then something like that. Or if we take out this loan, then we'll have a correction to retest that other block, and then we'll have something like that. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still consolidating. Last week, we spotted this area here, but then price spiked lower again, but did not take out this candle's low. And actually, also say that maybe this candle could be a CRT, just that there is no clear key level here for us to have to support that idea. But Bitcoin is looking bullish, right? Bitcoin is looking bullish, especially when you look at it on the monthly chart. We look really bullish using this candle as our other block. Even on the weekly time frame, we will need one more spike to the upside before we can have lower prices, right? Because at this point, this is when this accumulation is happening, it's causing a lot of confusion, a lot of tension between traders. So there's going to be a manipulation, and it can be to any direction, right? We can have a spike lower, maybe just within a day, and then we have the uptrend starts. But still, like, we can have a spike up, because with this, a lot of people are scared already, and they're taking out their investments, and price can probably spike. And at that moment, it will cause panic. They'll start to now run after the move, and then price will start to reverse. All right, so that's BTC. Let's look at US 100. All right, so US 100, we had the CRT high taken out after we took out the low here. This high was taken out, and then we're having this massive pullback with monthly. Also, that was a monthly CRT as well. This was so clean, right? Very clean price movement. Internal range liquidity to external range liquidity. Feeling this fair value gap going back for the CRT high. Weekly time frame, the same thing. We had that nice CRT candle right there, and it delivered so nicely. Down to the daily time frame. At this point, we have this candle here. All right, so this is our other block. This one is going to support prices from here. You can see prices going back to 22,500. 22,500, yeah. US 30. Let's look at US 30. Please, if you have any pair you want me to check, just leave it on the comment section. I'll look at it before we end this session. US 30, slightly the same thing. Remember the 45 key level that we spotted last time? We're still having a good reaction from that area. And right now we're having this steady pullback. We have this fair value gap here. So we can have nice continuation from there. All right. After price feels retesting this other block. Somebody said XRP. XRP. That should be crypto. XRP. XRP USDT on Binance. What a nice spike on the weekly time frame. Monthly. XRP, maybe we'll have a continuation. Okay. XRP. We're going to have one more push to the upside. Okay. This is our total SOP here. Just that we haven't retested this area properly, but I think, yeah, we actually retested it a little from this high. Was clean. So one more push to the upside on Sierra on the XRP. USD JPY. USD JPY Forex. We have Wanda. What? Okay. Now USD JPY. I did this in this was January. Yeah, January. We spotted this fair value gap and price came up to it. We have been having that massive sell since then, and we have this fair value gap here that we are coming back to. Good close for the week. We still have this low as an inducement into that fair value gap. So USD JPY still bearish. We can have maybe a push a little bit push up before we have that continuation sell, something like that, and then we have price drops down to that fair value gap. Somebody's writing on my screen now. What's that? All right, so we are still bearish on USD JPY to come down to this fair value gap, but we have this other block here. I think it also aligns with key level on the daily. Yeah, on the daily, we still have that other block too. So there's a possibility that we can have a little push back to the upside before dropping. That would be good. It will be a good zone to engage on sales rather than price dropping. Unless price drops directly now to this fair value gap, that's when you can now expect to get some longs. And it's also good because it aligns with this breaker here. So it's a very good spot, very good area to expect price to buy from. All right. Taking this low as an inducement into that breaker, I think this is a very good spot to look for buying opportunities. And this is a very good spot to look for sales. So I would love to have sales down to buys rather than have this, unless price just drops heavily down to this area and then we can buy it back up to that area. All right, so that is for CAD GPY, USD GPY. Let's just look at GBP GPY. GBP GPY. I think it should be the same thing. We should be selling as well. All right, so good. We spotted this last week, having a retest of this trend line, and then massively pushing lower. That's beautiful. We'll have continue to have that right down to target this low. All right, that's GBP GPY. I think is there any other pair I'm forgetting? Am I forgetting any pair? Is there any pair I'm forgetting? I don't think so. All right. Anyway, so I'll stop recording.